p.m. my YouTube channel and my Facebook channel. So if you miss any of the lives, you can catch the replays at 5 p.m. daily Eastern time. So there's never a time that you cannot catch any of this information. It's always rebroadcast at 5 p.m. daily, and it's also rebroadcast on Saturdays to my YouTube channel. So let's get on with the information that we have going forward. As we know, I just want to start with a bit of this hurricane that has been wreaking havoc in Mississippi. So our hearts are out to those affected by the storm. But what I want to also relief services or your those areas, the Red Cross, the emergency, please do not enter these areas on your. There are coordinated efforts and they know enter, and you don't want to go in seeking to do good and end up needing to be rescued yourself. And heaven forbid that you go in to rescue and end up needing rescuing and nobody even knows you there to be rescued. So please coordinate any humanitarian efforts that you may wish to provide during this time to Louisiana, to the Gulf area, with FEMA, with the Red Cross. If you want to send food, if you want to send your health, um, if you want to send teams of individuals to help pass out blankets, if you want to send clothing, FEMA, Red Cross are the agencies with boots on the ground. You can actually put together a team and contact the areas directly, and they will help you, you know, they will help coordinate areas to get you to in there to provide those services. But please just do not go in there on your own thinking you know best how to serve, because you can actually do more harm than good, because then they have to take resources that can be used to rescue people to then rescue you. That's my tidbit. We also want to keep in mind part of our country is on fire. The California fires, they are evacuating people out there. And once again, if you provide those humanitarian services, you want to reach out to, once again, FEMA is looking for people to that they're looking for volunteer firemen. They're looking for electricians. They're looking for anyone that provides those services to go out to California. The Gulf area is hard hit. They're looking for nurses. Anybody, they're looking for volunteers. It's basically to go into the Gulf areas, to go out into California. We also want to keep Haiti in mind. They was hit by the same storm that's tearing up the Gulf area. I believe it's the same storm. If it's not, it's the same thing that's just devastating our Gulf Coast. So with that said, I want to move into, we have the September 13th through the 15th is National Small Business Virtual Summit. I actually heard about this from, I was in a house on Clubhouse. And I heard about this and I went and checked it out. And I think it's something that if you're a small business, you should log into it and you should check it out. The agenda for it is not up yet. However, being in the room, seeing what's going on would be very beneficial, making those connections. And one thing the presenter said that I want to echo, and I think is paramount, and I think our small businesses do not do enough of, and they do not do efficiently. When you participate in these events, turn on your cameras and tune in. Even with my broadcast, I know my platform isn't big, but I'm providing information that you can utilize to grow your business. I sit in conversations with small business owners, investors all the time who complain about not having opportunities or access to information. Yet and still, this platform, the Women's Business Centers, there are platforms out here providing information that you're just not taking advantage of. I can tell you when I was in corporate and I worked for one of the top 10, well, at that time they was in the top 5 government contractor. They were a multi-billion dollar with a B organization. And I can tell you the CFO listened to programs just like this. They didn't, they listened to Bloomberg and everything else, but they kept their nose and ears to the ground. And I found something remarkable. He said a lot of the greatest content that he found and a lot of the cutting edge information he found were from the smaller platforms because they kept their noses to the ground. They wasn't interested in catching the latest headlines. So it was the smaller publications, the smaller platforms that really kept focus. They listened in and subscribed to publications from the small nonprofits. I know a nonprofit in DC, a lot of the small businesses snubbed them, but they had a lot of the big time Fortune 50 CEOs on their mailing list because they gave great content, especially if you're in contracting. Your source of information is not always obvious. SBA is great and is a great source of information, but the off the beaten path is always a great place too. Just a little side note, not and there's a shameless plug as well. But yeah, please register for that event. I think it will be beneficial. Go into these small rooms, go into these events. When they open a platform, something she said I thought was beneficial, and if I could remember her name, I would actually say it. Um, I kind of came in halfway, so I don't know what her name was. But she made a valid point. Even if you just open a mic and just announce yourself in your business name and just thank them for having the event and you don't have a question, put your name out there. Put your name out in the government space. They're more than likely going to have some kind of government contracting platform. They're going to have somebody from the government contracting um, arena speaking. So when they're presenting, listen. Now, if your camera has to be off for some reason, fine. But when they go to the Q&A, that is the time to turn on your camera and dial in. You want to be focused. You have to show up. I just signed up with a new coach. I have 2 coaches now. I have 3 coaches now. And YouTube University and Freebie Nation is only going to get you so far. That is just the truth. If you don't want to hear it, oh well, you won't go but so far. But one of my coaches, both of my coaches, all 3 of my coaches, quite frankly, all say the same thing. You get as much as you focus on. And doing something as simple as turning on your camera and dialing in, that's an act of focus and commitment. So sign up, tune in. You can afford to tune in an hour every day. When I was still in corporate was my job, I used to sign up for these events. I used to sign in on my cell phone. I understand not using company materials. I signed in on my cell phone. I plugged in my headphones, and I had my headphones in one ear while I worked with my other ear. And I paid attention, and I was involved while I got my work done. That is what you do to build a business while you're paralleling. I understand everybody can't, cold turkey quit to go full time into your business. I had twins. And I was raising my twins on my own. So I understand the struggle. So I'm not telling anybody to quit your day job and go full blast, but you still have to be committed to the development of your business. And government contracting is more than just submitting a proposal, because a non-compliant, unresponsive proposal is a waste of paper. I'm telling you what nobody else is going to tell you. It's a waste of paper. And I'm going to even go a little bit higher, and I dare say, even a mediocre crafted proposal and nobody knows your company, it's a hard sell. So I suggest you find some time. I used to take my lunchtime and send out introductory emails, attend these workshops, and introduce myself. I used to take a vacation time strategically here and there and go to some of these meet and greets that they would have just to show up and meet the contracting officers and then go to work. And I was a clients person expected to work 70 plus hours a week raising two kids on my own. So it's hard, but it can be done. But getting off of my soapbox, um, but yes, register for the National Small Business Virtual Seminar being done virtually. It's the week of September 13th to the 15th. The registration can be found on the SBA website. Their agenda wasn't up as of yesterday, but I'm quite sure they will have the agenda up this week, sometime or another. But agenda or no agenda, just sign up. The SBA puts on a great event that's packed with information that you want to put out there. Now, there are some FAR provisions going into effect September 10th. And you know what? September is actually 2 days away. Oh my goodness, this year is going by quickly. That you should be aware of, and I will actually delve into each one of these each day this week. So, there is a revision of the limitations on subcontracting that goes into effect September 10th of 2021. There's the FAR code of scope of, I can't read my own writing, scope of procurement center representative, the good faith in small business, subcontracting and technical assistance amendment. All of these things are going into effect September 10th, 2021. You want to keep your eye out on that because if you're a government contractor, especially if you intend to do business with the Department of Defense and Homeland Security, you will be governed by FAR. And these changes, especially the ones concerning procurement and subcontracting, will be a major impact upon you. I will do a little additional reading and bring you what those changes are and what the impacts are as the week go along. But I just wanted you to be aware of those FAR changes that go into effect next week. Because September 1st is the day after tomorrow. Wow, the year. And the government fiscal year starts October 1st. So we have 1 month until the government fiscal year kicks in. And September 1st is the day after tomorrow. And these FAR clauses go into effect next week. And our Congress is actually holding hearings on September 1st that will also impact government contractors. At 10 a.m. on Wednesday, the Armed Services Committee will actually review the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2022. That is basically the budget for defense. So they're actually doing a markup on the defense budget. It will be an open hearing. You can actually watch those hearings on online. You can actually, if you watch C-SPAN, you can watch it on there. You can also go on to house.gov and watch it on there as well. They will air those hearings live. I know some people think that stuff is boring, but the appropriations um, committee meetings are very interesting. At 1 p.m. on that same day, the Committee on Small Business will meet to discuss the PPP forgiveness program. So there's actually talks on the street to do a total forgiveness. Now, you will still have to apply, but if you received any funding from the PPP program that you were entitled to, because the fraud that ran through that program is amazing. But if you were entitled to the funding, if you submit the funds, they're talking about doing 100% forgiveness. So long as you received, if you can demonstrate that you had I believe it's a 60% decrease in revenue from 2019 to 2020, I believe it was, then they will do a total forgiveness. That's it. Now, for government contractors, whatever percentage of the PPP loan is forgiven, you must demonstrate that in your rates. Because whatever savings you receive, the government is going to want. Period. In the discussion. And however the PPP loan is applied, that is where that forgiveness is going to be needed to be shown in your rates. I would suggest contacting a consultant that can help you with applying that to your rates so that you can so that the government can see that. The auditors will be looking for that forgiveness when it comes time to audit. And if it's not there, that is going to be a rate adjustment that is going to result in a rebate or refund back to the government come audit time, and the government does ask for money back. Don't let anybody tell you different. They do, and they love penalties and interest. And on noon Wednesday, they're going to do the stakeholders' perspective on cyber incident and for critical incident. There is going to be a hearing about that. Now, the government, as I talked about last week, and you're going to hear me continuously talk about this, with the modernization program and adoption of zero sum, there is really going to be a push on cybersecurity. One of the key things that's going to be for small business that I see happening is there's going to be a requirement for contractors and subcontractors to report any incidents of hacking, cyber attacks that are considered substantial. You're going to have to track all of it, but any so-called quote critical incidents are going to have to be reported. They haven't worked out the kinks, the bugs, how it's going to be reported. Is it going to be an annual reporting? Is it going to be an audit time reporting? I don't know. But with the uptick in cyber threats and cyber attacks, and with the knowledge that the government is being attacked through its subcontractors and contractors, I see that being pushed down as a requirement to any contractors or subcontractors that you're going to have to do that reporting. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep my eye out, my ears to the ground for any impending requirements or any talk of requirements along those lines. So this Friday, I've decided to do a special masterclass that I'm going to do from YouTube at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, discussing the top 3 things that you should know government contracting. I kind of did an informal survey to my email list, and I'm going to base my content off of the responses that I got to that. If you want to submit responses, or if you have questions, or if there's some things that you want to know, drop me a direct message, send me an email, If you want to join my email list so you can stay in the know, I will drop pin on my social media platforms sometime today, a way so that you can join my email list so you can stay in the happenings. Because I will do a lot more master classes this year. And I'm actually doing a 21 days of contracting in November. I wanted to do it October 1st, but I want to do it right. I'm inviting some power partners to join the platform so that they can share their information with you as well. And in order for it to be right and to present the best information, I'm gonna have to push it back to November. But this Friday, I am doing that master class. So look out for the registration information. Sign up. I will bring it live from my YouTube channel at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Friday. So with that, I will close out today's chatter project. Um, if you have any questions, please send me a direct message. If you have a topic you would like me to cover, or if I spoke on something and you would like for me to go a little deeper on it, send me a message. I am here to provide information that you can use. I'm also a consultant trainer. If you wish to engage my services, send me a message. You get on my calendar, we can talk because I'm here to serve you. I'm here to be a catalyst for your strategic growth and government contracting. I'm here to help you meet your goals. So until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., I'm signing off for today, Luciana Turner, and have a great day.